Season 2 of Unrivaled is here, and we have 2 expansion teams to add to the league. As the next season for this new 3-on-3 league tips off, let's go through the clubs, check out the shakeups, and give our way too early prediction for this league's rankings. Now, for a league like Unrivaled, the ideal player is someone like Nafisa Collier, Season 1's one-on-one champion, as well as the season MVP. In this format, the ideal player is big enough to do some damage in the paint, have an extremely efficient jumper, and at least mid-tier ball handling skills. And because of the condensed size of the court, even if it's a big who hasn't mastered bringing the ball up like an Alyssa Thomas, you don't have to go that far before you're immediately in the action. Every new player to Unrivaled has a learning curve on the full court 3-on-3 format, and players with a similar size and skill set to founders Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart should have more dominant performances in this league. After a successful first season, Season 2 will start with 4 games where we'll get to see all 8 teams play. Checking out the teams in order of appearance, the Mists were actually one of the worst teams in the league for the first season. Yes, it is being led by one of the founders, but they couldn't seem to get it together at all through the first season. Now, the team itself is completely new. The only returning player is Breanna Stewart. The rest of the cast includes Arike Gumbawale, Veronica Burton, Elena Smith, Lee Yaru, and Alicia Gray. Now, the players to keep an eye on for this team would be Alicia Gray and Veronica Burton, mainly because Breanna Stewart is going to be on the floor majority of the time, whether that's in the wing or the big position. Now, because Unrivaled moves so fast, Yaru probably isn't going to be used all of the time, and when she is used, it's probably going to be more strategic than anything else. So that gives you Breanna Stewart, Alicia Gray, and Veronica Burton. Now, once you consider Arike Gumbawale, you can say that guard position is up for grabs. But if you look at the first season, she really kind of disappeared somewhere in there, only averaging 10 points, missing a handful of games. I really don't remember her in action, to be honest. So as much as you can look at all of the teams and have a starting squad and a backup squad, it's a lot more top heavy than that. So you can guarantee to see Breanna Stewart on the floor 90% of the time. I expect to see Alicia Gray on the floor just because she can play the wing or the guard position. And then depending on the matchup, you're going to have Elena Smith for the quicker teams and Yaru for the bigger teams. They could be a lower to middle of the pack team, but they really do have a league star in Alicia Gray. Again, Breanna Stewart is a founder, and I think Veronica Burton may surprise everyone just in how this format may match her skill set. The Hive are one of Unrivaled's expansion teams for the 2026 season, and on top of having no record from the original season, the only returning Unrivaled player is Natisha Heidemann. She'll be joined by Kelsey Mitchell, Sonia Citron, Monique Billings, Sanaya Rivers, and Ezzie McBeggar. The key players here are going to be Kelsey Mitchell, Ezzie McBeggar, and more than likely at the point guard position, Natisha Heidemann. Now, they are guard heavy on this team, so you could see them switch the guard and wings out, just depending on who's willing to step in that wing role when you're looking at Sonia Citron and Sanaya Rivers. Monique Billings is probably their only true wing, so when she's not on the floor, it'll be interesting to see how they use their lineups. Kelsey Mitchell is probably going to be their top scorer. I have her winning the one-on-one competition. So having her alone makes this team very dangerous and a team to keep your eye on. Someone like Sanaya Rivers is way too sneaky on defense to sleep on. So this could be a sleeper team even if they don't make it to the championship. I do see them making a lot of noise in this first season for the team as a whole and all the individual players. Taking a look at the Vinyl Club, this is actually a very wing-heavy team. They have returning players not only to Unrivaled but to the Vinyl in De'Erica Hamby, Ryan Howard, and Ray Burrell. They'll be joined by Erica Wheeler, Brittany Griner, and Courtney Williams. In a league so dependent on the wing position, this is probably the sleeper team. They were very highly ranked in Season 1 with this similar core, especially with Ryan Howard and De'Erica Hamby, but really fell below expectations, and it was very surprising considering a lot of the team have 3-on-3 experience, not just FIBA but Olympic competition as well. So when you add in a couple of quick guards like Erica Wheeler and Courtney Williams, you really do give them a lot of firepower and room to operate as a team. If Brittany Griner's on the bench, then that means Ray Burrell is your big, which is a pretty decent athletic big to have on the floor for you. So similar to the Mist, if you see Griner on the floor, it's probably strategic, not just to their bigs, but probably guarding the paint and making it harder on a driving guard as well. Even with the returning players, you got to keep your eye on Erica Wheeler. I think she could be a breakout star on this team as well. She's pretty nice in the clutch. We saw that from her last season in the W. I can see her getting the most game winners in the entire league. Outside of Skylar Diggins, she'll probably have the most fun with the game winner feature. In Unrivaled, the fourth quarter is actually untimed. They actually end up playing to 11 points higher than the leading team going into the fourth quarter. The Laces are another powerhouse team from season 1. They have two of their best players returning in Alyssa Thomas and Jackie Young. They'll be joined by Naz Hillman, Maddie Segrist, Jordan Canada, and Brittany Sykes. This was actually the sleeper team in season 1, and like a lot of the other teams, it's a very different cast, but like the few that got to keep 2 to 3 players, Jackie Young and Alyssa Thomas led this team. In this new season, you can expect to see a lot of Jordan Canada running with these two, especially because she's their truest point guard. Now at the same time, I can see Brittany Sykes running with them as well, just because of how feisty she is on defense and how much of a star she became in Unrivaled in season 1, especially since she's the only Unrivaled champion on the team. The Laces are probably still seen as the toughest team in the league, but they will have their work cut out for them now that Marina Mabry joined Skylar Diggins on the Lunar Owls. Speaking of the Lunar Owls, they have their returning players Nafisa Collier and Skylar Diggins. They'll be joined by Rebecca Allen, Aaliyah Edwards, Marina Mabry, and Rachel Banham. Now the Owls were the best team in the league last year, literally only losing down the stretch in a single elimination playoff game. Now Nafisa Collier was pretty smart in picking up Aaliyah Edwards, who went toe-to-toe with her in the one-on-one competition for first place. Diggins on the team was definitely a chess move, as she can play that point guard position to a T, and definitely one of the players that's the most familiar with the game winner aspect of Unrivaled. Picking up Marina Mabry is probably the most slept on decision in the league. She's an absolute sniper, and it really just makes the Owls just as dangerous as the first year. And on to the Phantom, my new favorite club. I have to say I love the green that they added into their overall design and their jerseys. They do have returning players Satu Sabli and Natasha Cloud, but technically Sabli will not be playing in this season due to injury. So Cloud will be joined by Dana Evans, Aaliyah Boston, Kiki Arifin, Kelsey Plum, and Tiffany Hayes. She's actually my favorite player from season 1, so I'll be watching a lot of the Phantom this year. They did great in the big position picking up Aaliyah Boston and Kiki Arifin. Both of them can hold their own in the paint, with both of them having pretty decent jumpers. So with Natasha Cloud kind of having seniority, you'll probably see her along with Kelsey Plum and Aaliyah Boston most of the time on the floor, and of course you'll have Dana Evans and Tiffany Hayes depending on the matchups. Overall, this is a completely different team. Even with the returning players, none of them played together last season, and unfortunately for the Phantom, they weren't one of the best teams in the league last year. Honestly, they were down at the bottom, so they have nowhere to go but up. But again, this is one of my personal favorite teams, so hopefully they have a good season. And on to the championship Rose Club. They have returning players Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Lexi Hall, and Azare Stevens. They'll be joined by Sugg Sutton and Shakira Austin. Unfortunately, they will not have Angel Reese this year, so they'll move on in hopes of winning another championship. The Rose won the championship game without Reese and had Stevens in the big position, so she may be able to carry them, especially with Austin sharing that position. Lexi Hall is an absolute demon in this game. She's everywhere on defense, and usually when the team needs a 3, it's her that's hitting it. So I see them doing a lot of the same damage, especially since they picked it up towards the end of the season. Not having Angel Reese will hurt them on the defensive end, especially with those rebounds, but Azare Stevens and Shakira Austin are pretty good on the glass, so they may be okay in that position. Depending on the matchup and how the playoffs fall, they could end up in another winning position. And then taking a look at the other expansion team for Unrivaled, this is actually a fan favorite field team. Paige Beckers, Cameron Brink, Kate Martin, Rakia Jackson, Dominique Malonga, and Ari McDonald. I mean, not only some of the most followed WNBA players, but also ones that had great seasons in 2025, or at least moments that captured the fans' eyes. So yes, this is a young squad, but I actually think this will work in their favor. They're going to be fearless. They're just going to run and gun. You're going to have Paige Beckers at the point more than likely, Rakia Jackson and Dominique Malonga and or Cameron Brink in the post. We've already seen Malonga dunking in the pick and and roll with Paige, and then when you add in a sniper like Kate Martin, this team will get a lot more upsets than racking up pure losses. They are going to take their bruises, but this is secretly a tough team. Rakia Jackson is scared of no one. Pair that with someone as fearless as Paige Beckers, they're not going to back down from anything. So even though this is a young team, they already have a lot of fans behind them, and again, I think they'll have more upsets than anything else because they have someone that can dunk and someone like Paige Beckers who can create that separation at will. This is still a team to watch. If you're tuning into Unrivaled, get ready for some fast-paced 3-on-3 action. At the same time, this league and its players are bold enough to have a one-on-one tournament in front of everybody, just like season 1. And that was probably one of the most exciting moments of the entire season. Watching players get taken 11-0, seeing Aaliyah Edwards go all the way to taking on Nafisa Collier, making a name for herself not just for Unrivaled, but with the fans and the W overall. Watching that one-on-one tournament was so exciting. You got to see teammates go up against each other, rivals go up against each other, straight dog action because they were there for the money. I honestly loved it, and while I will definitely predict a Kelsey Mitchell win, I would be visibly entertained if it's someone surprising. And you gotta respect the league that pays the entire team when only one player can win that tournament. The other addition to this season would be the development club, which I'm a big fan of. Natisha Heidemann ended up playing on almost every club in that first season except the Lunar Owls and the Vinyl, literally ending up on the championship team at the end of the season because of injuries and prior commitments by players. So having this development team will not only keep the integrity of the league and make sure they don't have any lost games like season 1, but it further allows these professionals to get better in the off season, cozy up to future teammates, and soak in the state-of-the-art facilities. I do think we'll get a lot of action out of Unrivaled this season. I think we'll get a lot of celebrities courtside, and the social media team for Unrivaled really keeps them active and engaged, somehow giving us more than just basketball when you pay attention to this league. After looking through all the clubs, I think Kelsey Mitchell will get season MVP. Aaliyah Boston will probably get awarded Defensive Player of the Year, and if they do Rookie of the Year, Paige Beckers will definitely grab that one. I'm not sure what other awards they'll give out this year. They may add some or change it up just because they're trying to be a different league, but all in all, I think we'll be happy with it, and maybe in one of the upcoming seasons, they'll make it all the way to California. The free throw challenge is new this year. My gut reaction is to go with a guard, but depending on how they play this out, especially tournament style, I'll be excited to see how they make the last couple of rounds per se exciting for the fans. I'll go with Tiffany Hayes to keep it interesting, but I would not be surprised if someone like Aaliyah Boston won the free throw challenge. It took me a minute to really decide on my power rankings and where I wanted to place everybody, especially without watching any game yet. But the Rose do lose a lot of points without having Angel Reese, and to give respect to the Owls, I definitely can't place them all the way at the end. But I do think the Hive have a lot of power in Kelsey Mitchell. I think the Phantom have the same thing going with Kelsey Plum, but with stronger bigs. And then when you get to the Breeze, I feel like it could be one or the other. They're either going to shock everybody and be the best team in the league, or be down at the bottom like everybody predicts. Nowhere in the middle. I like the Mist, but I honestly feel like their only saving grace is Alicia Gray. After a piss poor performance in season 1 by Brianna Stewart, I'm just not sure what to expect from her in this format. Maybe after a rested season and no injuries, she'll come back full form, but just based on what I saw from season 1, this is what we got. And even if you don't have a power rankings prediction, let me know who you got in the one-on-one tournament, because that's going to be live.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.